This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter.
Yeah, I want.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorce dad, single dad, divorce dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
Oh, and showtime it is. Wednesday. How I wait for the day. So much going on. So much of everything, life going on. How the hell is everybody? It's Wednesday, November 5th, right here on Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast, where I imagine that it's dark just about everywhere right now. How's that new pre-winter early darkness working for you, huh? 5 months. It'd be over like that. You say, damn, where'd the time go? Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. A lot of life going on in life right now. Telling you, even when I got up this morning, everything we've been putting together for tonight, I wanted to start shifting and changing around because everything just changes so rapidly when it comes to current events. And the fact that we're not a daily show, which I'm glad of, I don't know if I'd want to be a daily show. It just depends. Depends. But, things just change. I after this show is over, by tomorrow, there'll be things I'm going, God, I wish I could talk about that right now. And then I got to wait till Wednesday. But either way, I'm glad as hell that you're here. And for those who are not here yet and listening to this via podcast or watching it, all my viewers, thank you. Whenever you're watching, it is truly appreciated. I can't tell you how happy I am that things are just starting to, there's always that point where it's struggle, bam. And we're not really at bam yet, but we're it's like we're pulling the hammer is pulled back finally. And it was a tough hammer to pull back. What we got going on here? We like Zohran Shalom. Do you? We're going to talk about him tonight. A lot of stuff going on. But did I just do that? Yeah. Anyway, first comment of the night. Quick, right out the slot. Bam. Again, bam. There's the word. So I'm very appreciative of everybody. I mean, the Facebook is just really, it's at this point now where it's just catapulting and growing, but it's been no, bed of roses. It's been a long, hard climb, and I'm really glad for that. And we still got a lot more to go because I want different things. I never intended the show to be the way it is, like it is, which I'm not, not happy with it. But I just envisioned things in a whole different way. But this is how we've been doing it because you have to work with what you have. But speaking of working with what I have, there you go. I can officially get going. Where were you last week, brother? Where were you? You forgot about me. Poor Peter. But I'm a professional. I'll rise above it. But I'm truly happy with, the way things are because it's not easy. Everybody can pick up you can pick up a phone. I mean, I know people like this. And they just go, I'm going to do a show. And it's like, oh boy. Hang on. Look at this. I'm being invaded. Looks familiar, but I can't familiarize. Nick Zangarangatanga. The hell you doing? I remember you. Dude. I remember you. You're that guy from the Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Now formerly known as retired. Oh, boy, he must be really bored. He tuned into my show. See, I knew it was just a matter of about 6 months or so before you start looking for things to do. And you come into this. Welcome to the shit show. So, things have just, been, hey, I'm getting that. Okay. And a reminder for those of you who want to comment live, the only way you can comment live to where we can see it, where you can see like Nick, the Italian, giving me the, a fondo mozz, or is that the, what is that? Good to see you, except I'm not really seeing you. Reminder, if you want to comment live on the show, so I can see it, you're going to have to get on the official Facebook Peter G Show page to comment, just like Nick is doing right now. I quit more than retired, whatever you want to call it. Okay, whatever to call it. It's a new show. I'm going to start a new show called Where's Nick? And I'm going to get you on the show one of these days. I'm just trying to resituate myself. Maybe for the holidays, Nick. Maybe you'll come on and talk to me for the holidays, or with me for the holidays. We'll talk about, I don't know. We'll talk about it. That sounds like a good idea, don't you think? I think. Because that boy's good. That boy's good. So if you want to comment live, I'm getting all sidetracked already, and I was so focused up until, but then Nick shows up, it's always like that. Somebody just to like, bam, there's the word again, bam. So if you want to comment, you got to be on the official Facebook Peter G Show Live to comment to where I can see them live. You can always comment after the shows. They get read by somebody, somewhere, somehow, sometime, maybe. And you got to either be on the official Peter G Show Facebook page or the official Peter G Show YouTube page, as long as they don't ban me from that page. I'm just getting close, but so far I'm watching myself because I want to stay on there. I don't mean to get banned. I don't think I do anything wrong, but they're just pricks. And or the LinkedIn Peter G Show page. Those are the only three that will allow me for people to comment live right now that we are on. And a reminder, this show goes after the show. It goes to audio podcast, lives on forever. So for those of you, I know it takes a lot of dedication, just like for some reason, Nick is either in the doghouse or he's looking to get away or something. But he's watching the show tonight. This is a miracle has happened. It's a miracle. He's not in his office anymore to sit around and do this during whatever the hell he does. Don't ask, don't tell. But when people are busy in California, it's, people are still driving home from work. Put an earbud in your ear, Google Peter G Show podcast, take the show on the road with you. You can listen to it when you're at work, because work is boring. While you're exercising, walking, running, whatever you're doing, at the grocery store, I do. I have earbud in my ear everywhere I go, just about, because I'm half deaf. So I go direct, and I listen to things when I'm walking around. I just do, at least with one earbud. I don't completely block myself off. Try to be aware of my surroundings. Things are getting tough. And that's it. But I appreciate everybody paying attention. So again, whether you're listening to it right now live, I love you for it. But so long as you're listening, for those who are listening in the future or tomorrow, next year, things snowball. Everything is awesome, and I appreciate you. But we are going to talk about last night's elections, and New York's got a new mayor. Love it or hate it, we're going to talk about it. Can't please everybody, but we're going to talk about it. And also, I'm going to be talking about that hurricane that hit Jamaica. Once again, here comes Peter with the conspiracy theories, but, Maui, Pacific Palisades, North Carolina, Jamaica, other parts of the world. These places all just happen to be on smart city maps for futuristic builds. Well, North Carolina wasn't, but it was just a lithium mine. I mean, a ton of lithium in them thar hills that they wanted to get to. Now they're going to, but I digress. Anyway, the government shutdown, we're still going to talk a little bit about that. I love the he said, she said, but I'm trying to give everybody a little more information so you'll pick and choose who you want to believe, because if you're if you're just hardcore left or right, and you know that you don't care, but if they tell you whatever they tell you and you're going to believe it, that's up to you. I'm going to just point out a few facts. You do what you want with it. I don't care. I mean, I do care because I love you. But after that, there's only so much you can do. You can lead a horse to water. You can lead a horse to water. And there we go with the comments. Please don't support Jamaica. I'm not supporting Jamaica, but I have a theory on why that hurricane hit Jamaica. And we're going to talk about it. Where I'll show you some videos. I always just bring information to you. I'm not telling you what to think. A lot of people I found out aren't thinking at all. But I appreciate MCF Senior. I guess it's Senior. Watching, he always comments, and that's cool. Where are you from, MCF Senior? Where do you live? Just wondering. Anyway, that's what we're doing tonight. But also, I want to remind you, next week, we're getting around the holidays, stuff like that. I'm going to start going into holiday or family stuff and things like that. But next week, November 12th, Wednesday, Baltimore's own, from Baltimore, Maryland, the overseer of the homeless, Pastor Ray Pollitt. Now, I've had Pastor Ray on my show several times because he is just one of those people who is selfless and gives. And he takes care of the homeless in his area in Baltimore. He oversees them. He's like their shepherd, tries to keep them from dying and tries to bring them closer to God. And he's just a great guy, and I like him a lot, and I love talking to him, and I've been bringing him on, and he's been always gracious enough to give us the time. So next week, Wednesday, November 12th, right here on this show from Baltimore, Maryland, Pastor Ray Pollitt, the overseer of the homeless over there. And it's always an interesting conversation because we talk about a lot of things about Baltimore, because if you ask me, Baltimore is a hellhole. It's turned into a hellhole. It could be an amazing place. It used to be an amazing place. But it's just run by, they're just running it to the ground like so many places. And he's there toughing it out, and he does it, and he never complains. And I just love the guy, and we're going to have him on next week. So write that down. I think you'll enjoy listening with me speaking to him and him speaking to me, and we'll be speaking to each other. And that's it. All right. What else we got going on here? I just want to make sure. Oh, real quick. I just happened to come across this. Where do you live? I'm sorry. Oh, thank you for answering. New York, Upper State. Oh, Nick's from Syracuse. We got Nick over here. Syracuse. But New York, Upper State. I used to spend a lot of time up there when I was younger. New York isn't, people forget, New York's a pretty big state. It's not all New York City. New York City. Anyway, I saw this the other day, and it reminded me of how corrupt everything is. When I saw a video about Zelensky, Ukraine's president, buying another piece of property here in the United States. Now, I've known that he probably owns close to a dozen houses nowadays. Stop it. Okay. I don't even know what I'm stopping. So Zelensky, I saw this thing. He just recently is purchasing, or is in the middle of purchasing, or has purchased a ranch here in the United States. Now, I know he owns at least another house down in South Florida, if not two other places. And when I say house, I don't mean like a house, a regular house. We're talking about money, mansions. Okay. Remember when he got busted, his wife bought his wife a Bugatti. And I'm trying to think, it's like, if poor Ukraine is suffering, we need more money. How's he's just the president. How much is a president supposed to make when you're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on properties all over the world? He could have properties all over the world. And it just so all of a sudden, I was on that kick, back when everybody's supporting Ukraine. Now, look, I feel bad for the Ukrainian people. They are innocent people. But Ukraine, I'm sorry, you can call me what you want, is a corrupt nation. The government is corrupt. And we're no angels when it comes to monkeying around with them. Not we're, but our government, or at least our past government. I don't know. It's not as clean as as they want to make it sound. And so how does this guy who's constantly coming here asking for money, buying these mansions and/or he's now bought the largest ranch. He's going to be one of the 10th largest landowners in the United States. How is that possible? When they need money for their wars and their people and all that. And this guy is going around buying mansions all over the world, not to mention everything else that comes with it. So I just saw this video. I want to do this before we even get started. Just this is off subject, but I don't want you to forget, because how quickly we've forgotten about, you know, Ukraine and all the woes, because the orange man's kind of cut him off. It's like, either quit this nonsense, because, you know, the well is run dry. The game is over. But, you know, we the people, or a lot of people, are just so gullible and just buy into, you know, we're so mean and we need to take care of them. It's like they got plenty of, where'd the money go? Where'd the money go? When all their upper government officials' pockets. So I want you to see this video right here. This is about Zelensky just recently purchasing this ranch here in the United States. And then we'll get back to on track for what we're doing tonight. All right, but check this out.
Scale has just closed in the heart of the American West. drphil Ltd., a Cyprus-based company owned by Volodymyr Zelensky, has purchased the Pathfinder Ranches in Wyoming, a property so vast it's bigger than the entire state of Rhode Island and over 4 times the size of New York City, at more than 916,000 acres. Pathfinder Ranches stretches across 4 Wyoming counties: Natrona, Carbon, Sweetwater, and Fremont. To put that in perspective, the fictional Dutton family's ranch in the hit TV series Yellowstone is said to span about 700,000 acres.
So Zelensky gets billions of dollars from us, taxpayer money, and then becomes the 10th largest landowner in the United States through his offshore company, drphil. Anybody see how fucked that really is?
I do. I see how fucked it is. I've been seeing it. That's just one piece of property. He probably owns no less than 6. I think closer to 10. It's either 8 or 9 homes / estates in the world. Because, you know, you get all those billions of dollars. It's like, well, $1 billion for me, $1 million here and there to all his friends to shut the hell up. And every time we keep giving them money, he just stashes away, because his time is going to end. And when it does end, he's never going to have to worry about anything anymore financially. He's going to be beyond rich, because the war has made him and many other people rich. That's what war does. That's why they want to keep making war. Just saying. All right. Just thought I'd bring that up. Just food for thought. I don't want you guys to forget. You know, that's the problem with there's so much stuff going on. Everybody forgets everything very quickly. And for those of you who, you know, stand behind Ukraine, I get it. I totally get it. I stand behind the people, the poor people that have to be involved in that beyond their control. But as for the government of Ukraine and all the crap that's going on, could care less. They're just stealing. They've been. It's your money. It's always our money. Whether it's $5 from you or $500,000, whatever. It's like, wouldn't you rather have it instead of him buying a ranch? All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, because I need to hear from and want to hear from my good friends over at Clean Start Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver. Let's face it, folks, it makes sense to save money. Money's tight. And then we're going to come back and we're going to get to the nitty-gritty of what I told you we're going to talk about tonight. So be right back.
Hello, it's Tyrone Thompson here with Clean Star Products, and we're here with William.
High-end car service.
And we've just serviced his Cadillac Escalade 2024. And we're going to be giving it a go to see what kind of results he'll be getting in his fuel mileage and any performance differences, and be checking with him later.
All right.
Thank you, William, for participating in our environmental program. We're here with High-End Car Services, my friend William, who's been using DX1 for a small time now. What kind of results have you been getting?
Up to 45.1 miles per gallon best results, and the engine has been quieter, and I can definitely feel the power in the engine. I have a diesel.
Thank you so much. We're going to keep going with the program and check in with you later. We appreciate you. The Long Life Engine Program with DX1 Driver is the only safe environmental product for your high mileage engine. DX1 is a non-toxic, clean-burning oil that goes into your fuel and your engine oil, providing lubricity for gasoline and diesel engines. You save on average 10% gasoline and 15% diesel fuel consumption. Call now for a price quote and place your order today. It's the Long Life Engine Program from Clean Star Products and Tyrone Thompson.
That's right, Clean Star Products, DX1 Driver. All I can say is 2 words. It works. I use it myself. It's clean and green. Let's face it, cars are expensive. Repairs are super expensive. Gasoline. Well, in some states, gasoline has gone down, but in California, gas is still stupid expensive, and I don't foresee it going down. This little bitty bottle right here, this takes care of a 4-door, your average 4-door sedan. Pour one of these in a clean oil change, and then every time you feel it lasts the whole oil change. So what's that, 5,000 miles? That's probably a quarter of the year or close to half, depending on your driving habits. But either way, and then every time you fill up your tank, you put one of these little bottles into the gas tank. It's that simple. But I know you're going to have questions because you're going, oh, come on, Peter. What's this little thing going to do, right? I get it. Don't believe me? Call them. Or go to their website, www.cleanstarproducts.com. All the information is there and their phone number. But the reason I want you to call them is because they'll talk to you personally. They believe in their product. They have a product that works. And the biggest thing is if you talk to them, you call them at 310-200-8931. They'll answer all your questions. And after you get through talking to them, should you decide to order, make sure you mention that you saw it on the Peter G Show. This is the best part, because they will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. 5 bottles for the price of 4. Come on, a deal's a deal. Makes the perfect starter kit also, because you put one of the bottles into your clean oil change, and then you have 4 bottles left for 4 tanks of fuel. I'm telling you, by the time you get to the 3rd tank, you put one in, drive it till it runs close to empty, and then go get gas, fill up the tank. Pour this in first, fill up the tank so it mixes well, and you have 4 of them. By the time you get to the 3rd, you're probably going to start noticing the difference. I know I did. And you do. And again, cleaner running, more fuel economy. More lubricity for the engine. It's just like good food, good body. It's like it can't get any more sensible than that. Cars have lots of metal parts with friction, and it takes care of that and helps give your car more longevity. Cars are expensive. I don't like buying cars anymore. I'm tired of it. They're too expensive, and they don't even make them like they used to. I hate to say that, but it's true. Back in my day. So call them, 310-200-8931. Speak to them. You might even talk to Tyrone himself. Mention that you saw it on the Peter G Show, and they will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. Come on, folks, a deal's a deal. The holidays are coming up. It makes a great gift, too. All right? Cool. So let's do this now. Changing gears. This is the part some people wait for. Let's take a sip. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and Nick, especially. Long time. I don't know. I thought he went completely underground, but it's good to know you're alive, Nick. All right. So salute. Here's to going into the holidays and everybody healthy, happy. Let's make the best of everything, all right? I love you. Ooh. Smooth. Isn't that right, Butthead?
Smooth.
I love them. All right, one more. Oh. Doctor's orders. Okay. So last night there was a good handful of elections across the United States. Not a whole bunch, but a good handful. All in Democratic states, I might add. But the biggest one, well, there was two big ones because I hate California Governor Gavin Newsom. He's just a slithery snake. If you live in California, you'll understand. Unless you're super wealthy to where it doesn't matter, you just buy, you can. It doesn't affect you, but they've just make everything so difficult over there. It's getting harder and harder, and more expensive for doing stuff that doesn't need doing, and they're always broke. The only thing that keeps that state alive is the dream of how great the weather is. It's a coastal state. Southern California. I said something, was it last week? I'm sitting there watching the local news, and they're going, "Oh, it got chilly out today. It was 70 degrees." And I'm going, 70 degrees. I mean, that felt good, but they're calling, they call that chilly because in the wintertime, we only get 50 degrees at night, and then by daytime, it goes back up to 70. Southern California. Now, Northern California is different, but there's so many different variables. So in the state, it's a great state. It's a beautiful state, but it's going to hell because we got grimy officials. They're just pocketing our money. But I'm not going to talk a whole lot about California because they had one election about Prop 50, which was how to redistrict people so they can naturally. The Democrats won. There's just you can't beat them. It's impossible. They're never, I don't know, again, someday we'll get to the bottom of it, but it's a shame. It's a friggin' shame because all they do is take our money and turn everything to shit over there. Back before 2015, California was awesome for a good long time of my living there. And then he came in and, billions and billions of dollars gets scandaled away. They can't account for it. 22 billion for the homeless. Where'd the money go? We don't know. 20 billion in unemployment insurance fraud during COVID. Where'd the money go? We don't know. I mean, but we need more money to tackle this problem. That's all they keep saying. We need more money. A high-speed rail that goes nowhere. Billions and billions in the hole. Haven't made any progress. I mean, it's right in, I wouldn't mind, but it's right in front of everybody's face. If you can't see it, but yet they keep voting for them. I don't get it. See, I don't care. I don't care left or right, green, yellow, orange. If you're doing a shitty job, I don't want to know about you. It's that simple. I don't care about parties and this and that. But we're going to talk about New York. Because New York was a real stunner. They had a Muslim socialist who blatantly tells you that he's a socialist, Marxist / communist / free everything, telling you anything you want to hear to get elected. A younger guy who was running for mayor. And then you had Mario Cuomo, which I can't even believe that anybody would let him back in. It just goes to show you how there's just nobody worthy of running for mayor. But there was somebody worthy, Curtis Suila, the guy who's spent 40 years of his life defending New York for no money out of his own heart, who put together the Guardian Angels, who got shot 5 or 6 times, whatever, being a guardian angel, who loves New York City, who's a grown man and has grown in that city and protected that city his whole entire life. And he can, I couldn't believe the outcome of how few voted for him. Now, Como, I can understand. But I thought that maybe we'd get lucky and there'd be this sweep and Curtis would come through because why wouldn't you want New York cleaned up and back on its feet and safe on the streets? I haven't been to New York in over 10 years. But I remember the good days of going to New York, and I remember the bad days of going to New York before Giuliani cleaned it up. He did a good job cleaning up New York, whether you liked him or not. I mean, yeah, he got off the rails afterwards, but when it came to running New York, he cleaned up New York. New York became a place where you can go walk the streets, have a great time, great city. It was like New York the way New York should be. And this election just blew my mind. And lo and behold, Zohran Mamdani killed it. A bunch of young people voted for him, and who knows who the hell else. And he is the mayor now of New York. And he promised everything. We're going to have free this, less expensive that, rent freezes, and things he's got no control over. Things that are going to be driving people out of New York, the rich people, because it taxed the rich, all that kind of shit. You think the rich are going to put up with that? They'll just leave. I hate the fact that they say they're going to leave and go to Florida, though. They need to stay out of Florida. There's a ton of states between New York and Florida. Go to Tennessee or something. That's why Florida gets a bad rap a lot of times, because you get all these northerners, nothing against northerners, but I mean, you just get such a smorgasbord of people that flock down to Florida. And then all kinds of hell breaks loose that makes the news all the time, like the most wackiest shit. And I remember listening to the radio in California, like morning talk radio or entertainment radio. And it's like they had this segment called It Could Only Happen in Florida. And it's like kind of true. A lot of goofy ass, sketchy shit goes down in Florida. Now, it's not the only state, it's everywhere. But for some reason, Florida's the one who gets the bad rap. It does. Let's see what we got here. Trump left. Well, yeah, he left a long time ago. But I mean, now all the more. I mean, there's going to be a lot of corporation people leaving New York. He says he only wants to raise taxes on the rich 2%, but it's really more than 2% when you break down the math. And why should you? I mean, there's tax laws. If they're abiding by the laws just because they have more money than somebody, whose fault is that? Just because somebody chooses to, now again, some people, God bless them, they can't. They're on food stamps for a real food stamp reason. But there's a lot of people who just work the system. Let's face it. Come on. This is what we're seeing right now with the SNAP benefit. We'll get into that later. But now we got this new guy who is blatantly, it's not even like, okay, he's Muslim. I don't care who you are. I know there's great Muslim people out there. But there's also radical extremist Muslims. And he's kind of on that side of the fence. And he is going to show his true colors in the months to come. You wait and see. But all these young kids, all these people who never got brought up needing to be responsible, all they keep hearing was, he's going to make rents cheaper, so that's good for me. There's going to be a world of hurt in New York. He wants to seriously defund the police. There's going to be shit going down, and God save the people in New York that are going to be stuck there having to put up with this shit. But I'm going to play some videos tonight about this, because just a few, because I'm sorry. And I know people who, because he's socialist. So it's kind of like semi Bernie Sanders. I mean, AOC supports him. All these, friggin' retards who've done really nothing, but they're good mouth runners. They just know how to yell real loud. And New York is going to be New York City. It's going to be one screwed up situation to where eventually I just really think, unfortunately, that place is going to have to go down in flames, so to speak, before finally the right people can get in there and go, enough is enough. But I guess we didn't reach that point yet. But with this guy, I'll truly apologize to you if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I'm not the smartest guy, but it doesn't take much when the guy's flat out telling you to your face what he's going to do. He's not hiding it. But all these younger people, all they keep hearing is free buses, lower rent. It's like, how are you going to lower the rent? You're going to force the landlords who have mortgages and things like that to lower the rents? If you can't afford the rent, why are you there? Go someplace else. I always said this, again, from the time I first moved to Los Angeles. The people that work at Burger King in North Hollywood didn't make much more money in North Hollywood than the people that work at Burger King in Slidell, Louisiana. Yet the cost of living in Slidell, Louisiana is a whole lot cheaper. Why in the hell are you living in North Hollywood? Go someplace else if you're just going to be normal. There's plenty of everything normal everywhere. So same thing with New York City. It's like, okay, if the rents are high, then only the people that can afford it are going to be there. It's that simple. Nobody's twisting your arm to stay, but they want free. FYI, this just in, news report, news flash, nothing in life is free. He's going to run that city dry because where's the money going to come from when everything is just so low and cheap and this and that? He's going to be crying for money. You watch. So let's go here. Let me go do this. Here's the first of a few talking about him becoming mayor of New York City. And just want to make sure I'm in the right place here, folks. Sorry. Hey, am I missing one? Yes, I am. Huh? Hang on. Oh, man. What the hell is my problem? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Just when you think you got it right. Oh, I know. No. All right, hang on a second, because I don't want to get ahead of myself. Go ahead. Okay, moves. New Yorkers move. Yeah, I need to. Holy crap! All right, let's go. Let's go here. What's it called? Bear with me. Sorry. I thought I had it together. Move, new mayor. I thought I added that. Where the hell did it go? Oh well. Okay, new mayor. Yeah, this is an important one too. So I want to. Should we keep that? Just give me 1 second. So, oh, that's why. All right. Oh, I know what I can do. Let's go here. Oops. Wrong button. Okay, right here. And that's not it either. Son of a gun. Caught me off guard. Where are we? All right. I want you to see this video. That's why I'm fighting to get it. Where are we at? Okay, maybe it's not. No, that's nope, that is not it. Where's the button I'm looking for? That is not. Oh, right in front of my face. Ha! All right. So I'll play it through like this. Here we go. This will save time too. This is the first video of Zohran Mamdani. So here you go.
Very clearly, I will not defund my father's cousin. I don't really have opinions about the future of Hamas and Israel beyond the question of justice and safety. The struggle for Palestinian liberation was at the core of my politics and continues to be. I am not, and nor have I ever called for the legalization of prostitution.
Do you support decriminalizing prostitution?
Yes. My fundamental belief that sex work is work. I would be happy to work with the president and the administration. What we need to be doing here in our city is to end the chapter of collaboration between City Hall and the federal government. I don't believe that the role of the mayor is to police speech. There are consequences for speaking up in favor of apartheid.
I'm telling you, This is just the beginning. He says one thing, he says another thing. Tape don't lie. Tape don't lie. Let's see what James has to say here. He stopped the Muslims from coming into the country. Who stopped the Muslims from coming into the country? Trump? Oh, yeah. Of course he did. You just know. You know what's going on. This is not going to end well. It is not going to end well. I'm telling you. This guy is going to start defunding the police. Again, all this junk that it didn't work. Before you know it, he'll have all his Muslim buddies in government. I just saw a bunch of videos on that. Instead of wars and killing people and things like that, now it's the strategy is get into the government. Get into the government and then just take over because you're running everything. Wait till Sharia. Look at England, Sharia law and all that. Well, I got one of those for you too. So here, we were just talking about people moving out of New York. Here's business people talking about it. They already knew. I mean, they had plan B in their back pocket, and it's probably going to go into effect. But here you go.
The top 1% of tax filers in New York City accounted for 48% of the taxes. When you chase out the top percent, there's nobody to pay taxes. There's nobody. This is awful. Early voting started Saturday in New York City's mayor election, and Mamdani is going to win. And he's bringing socialist policies. Mamdani is campaigning on freezing rent, city-owned grocery stores, defunding the police, being soft on crime, raising taxes against the wealthy. New York City already has some of the highest taxes in the country. It's bittersweet to see this happen in New York City, a city that I love, a city where I went to school, a city where I worked, built so much of my life and career. I predict Bill Ackman is going to relocate to Florida. He's going to get fed up. We're going to get more Citadel-type companies moving from New York City to South Florida. When the sentiment changes and you start going after the wealthy, they leave. And Florida is going to benefit. Dina is going to get a lot of calls. Ryan Serhant is going to get a lot of calls. Frederick Eklund is already getting a lot of calls. All of you realtors out there, the phones are going to start ringing off the hook on November 4th, and afterwards, we're going to see another huge influx of New Yorkers moving to Miami and South Florida.
That's fact. Why are they going to Florida? Again, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, got all these states. The Dakotas. Come on. But there he knows. People, everybody's in the clique. Like if you're in certain industries, you know what's going on in your industry. Well, same with the billionaires. He knows. And this is what's going to happen. And again, it's not going to happen now, but this Mamdani promised the world. And his theory is, I'll figure it out as I go along. He doesn't know how he's going to do any of this shit, but he's going to figure it out as he goes along. And I'm sure he's going to have lots of people in his ear like George Soros. I mean, because this is George Soros has a lot to do with this guy getting into office, whether you like it or not, or know it or not. A lot of money came from that because they want to destroy America. They want to, make the orange man bad and everything else. They still want to take down America and get everybody under one roof. That's their goal. Well, what better city than New York City? It's a good start, especially now that we have a Muslim mayor in there. What is it? Virginia just got a Muslim woman district attorney or attorney general. One of the two. There's a lot going on, folks. They're getting in everywhere. Look at England. All I can tell you. In fact, I'm not even going to be the one telling you. I'll let, what's this guy's name? Joey something. This guy talks about England and the Muslims. I mean, he hates the radical religious Muslims, and he's all over them like white on rice talking about this to bring awareness to you people like who are just in la land of, like this isn't a bad thing. But check him out. His name is it's Joey. I'll tell you in a minute, but nobody puts it more bluntly than he does. Check it out.
This is a warning to everybody in the United States of America, and I hope you're listening up very clearly. Islam is knocking at the door. And when Islam knocks on the door, they knock with a suicide vest strapped to them, all right? You are talking about jihad. You are talking about people taking over our government who are Muslims and believe 100% in the doctrine of Islam, which is Sharia law, it is jihad, it is taqiyya, it is every horrible thing you imagine. These people do not worship our God. They do not respect our constitution. These people walk around a black box in Mecca and yell Allahu Akbar, which is a call to war. It is a call to war. They're not here to assimilate. They're here to take over. Omar Fateh in Minneapolis. He almost won that election. He may win that election. It's still early. We don't know. Zohran Mamdani, who is a complete Islamist. He won his election in New York, and he won it pretty resoundingly. The Democrat lieutenant governor of Virginia, we didn't even talk about her. Nobody even knew where she was coming out of. She is a Muslim who wears a hijab. This woman is the lieutenant governor of the state of Virginia. It is getting worse and worse and worse. You have school board candidates up and down, Muslims. City council candidates up and down, Muslims. Muslims are coming into your government. And when they get to the government, they are not fighting for the American people. They are fighting for the Muslim people. They are fighting for their own interests. Look at the United Kingdom. If you don't believe me, look at the United Kingdom, who elected a Muslim mayor in London and elected Muslims all throughout the country. They are being replaced systematically. The British people are no longer living a good life in their own country. The Muslims are taking over. They're implementing their Sharia courts. They're implementing their Sharia law. And slowly, the United Kingdom is dying. It is dying. United States of America. Let this be a warning. Let last night be a warning. These Muslims are winning elections. The Democrats are allowing the Muslims to walk right through the door. They got a suicide vest strapped onto them. It's only a matter of time till somebody walks into the Capitol and blows that place up with a suicide vest, and it won't be a terrorist. It'll be an elected congressperson elected by a community of Muslims somewhere in the United States of America. Islam is the problem. Islam is not compatible with the United States of America. Islam is not compatible with the United States Constitution. Stop this scourge before it gets out of control. And let me tell you, we're getting very, very close to the point of no return. It's not good.
It's not good. It is not good. Have you seen anything about England? You say something on social media that's kind of mean or or sarcastic or however you want to put it. And before you know it, the cops are knocking at your door saying, you said this on social media. We need your phone. That's what's going on over there. The Muslims are taking over. They're mayors of every city now in England. If England doesn't finally get into a life or death situation, their backs are up against the wall right now. They're going to lose their country. Lose their country. I don't understand it. We can't get even, if we start getting even close to that shit ain't going to fly. It's not going to fly. But we're getting there, one step at a time, like last night. But wait till these next few months kick in and time kicks in. And because believe me, everybody's going to be keeping an eye on Mamdani. They're not going to let him just slide. All eyes are going to be on him 24/7. New York is screwed. New York is screwed. I cannot believe that man is going to make New York better. Just can't. It doesn't work. Again, if I'm wrong, I will publicly apologize in the future. But I don't think I'm going to be wrong. It's too blatantly obvious. And you saw that they got in their schools, the superintendents of schools are becoming Muslim. Again, there's Christian Muslims and there's radical left Muslims, and You watch the schools. You remember, we all used to stand up as grown up as kids and pledge of allegiance to the flag. Before you know it, there's going to be friggin', prayer rugs and teaching the Quran in public schools. Don't think it could happen, huh? It's probably already starting. People need to speak up, stand up. Where the hell is the Charlie Kirk video? I thought I had this all together. I want to play you something from Charlie Kirk when he was alive, because he spoke of this as well. What's it called? It's called Charlie Kirk. I'll do it this way since I can't find it now. And he had the same idea. Things were not right. This is America. You want to live in America? You assimilate as an American. Now you can still have your heritage and stuff like that, but you don't force it on others. It's that simple. Here's Charlie Kirk talking about being American and being Christian and how Muslim
battle is coming to the West. And the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it.
Yep.
Take what you want from it. He just wants Americans to be Americans. Family. Common decency. Love. Prosper. The American dream. I know it's harder and harder, but that's because all this crap keeps getting in the way. And we're allowing it. Not everybody. What's it going to take before everybody finally says, I want a better life, and this stuff isn't going to fly? Because again, we're so divided. It's so confusing. I get that part too. They got you believing the lies. Even now, I mean, there's a lot of people are pissed off with Trump right now. I mean, they're saying he's losing his way already. There's a lot going on. I was talking about that with my daughter last night. I said, listen, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt still, because there's a million issues going on all at once. He's one man who's tackling a bunch of stuff, but maybe he needs to steer his attention, because he's doing the big picture stuff, the corporations, the money coming into the country. But I think that he really needs to focus a good bit on we the people, the Commonwealth, the regular people, because they're the ones who right now are feeling the pinch, especially with this government stuff, all that shut down. This is just a bullshit show. It's just such a bunch of crap. Anyway, food for thought, people. Just putting it into your heads, because you keep an eye on New York. You watch, you wait and see. It's going to get weirder, sadly. Let's, a couple of weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, Jamaica got hit by a really bad hurricane. Now, hurricane season's just about over, thank God. And nothing serious has really happened to the United States or anything like that. But we did get this one tropical storm that turned into a hurricane, and then it steered into Jamaica. Now, most people it's kind of common. I mean, somebody gets hit by a hurricane here and there. It was a serious hurricane that wiped out pretty much Jamaica. Because, I mean, let's face it, Jamaica, as touristy as it is and all that, there's a lot of third world shit that goes on in Jamaica. The buildings aren't as strong, the this, the that. But I just come to find out, just like I've spoken about Maui during the Lahaina fires, just like I've spoken about Pacific Palisades in California during those fires, just like I've spoke about North Carolina that got wiped out with floods that have never, ever even come close to doing what it did over there. And then you hear about tons of lithium in those hills and wanting to get people out of the way over there so they can extract lithium from there. Well, that's how you do it. You have a disaster. It wipes everything out. And then you have to rebuild. And then all of a sudden, BlackRock and all these corporations just sitting there waiting to buy all that stuff up. Don't think it, and a lot of people go, oh, Peter, come on, that's crazy. It was a natural disaster. Okay. You know, again, anybody who's paying attention, or if you're not paying attention, weather manipulation has been going on since Vietnam. They have been toying with the weather since way back then. And they're not going to tell us what they can do, but we already know about cloud seeding and things like that. I remember, was it last year I showed you a video in where was it? In the damn desert. They cloud seeded so much they wanted rain in the desert over in Dubai. They overdid it, and it flooded everything, flooded their buildings. I mean, it was just a mess. And now that's the truth. So it's doable. And weather manipulation as to creating, like, let's say there is a hurricane out there, but they can make it bigger and they can direct it. Don't ask me how. It's a top secret thing. If it is, we'd all know. But I know it sounds fantastic, but a lot of things happen that shouldn't happen. And I'm going to play a couple of things on Jamaica because I need you guys to be aware of this also, because this is what they're doing to human life and people for greed. Here's one of the couple of videos I have on Jamaica. I think just because it didn't happen to your hometown doesn't mean it won't or can't. Here you go.
Well, the more I look into this devastating hurricane that's happening in Jamaica right now, the more I start to raise some questions. Did you know that Jamaica is on the 2030 Smart City agenda? Who else is on that agenda? LA, before their forest fire, directed energy weapons. Sorry. Maui was also on that list before their forest fires that demolish everything in sight and don't burn the trees somehow. Then we have this natural disaster in Jamaica, because you can't really build smart cities on top of current foundation now, could you? This is the biggest hurricane that's ever hit Jamaica, by the way. This place is very close to my heart. You think that this is just natural, God's plan? Then your head's in the sand and has been for a long time. It's also super interesting, the Maui wildfires that happened. This red line here is where all the devastation was, and it's the exact same transit that their proposed railway was for their smart city. What a shocking coincidence. Now look, guys, this is engineered 100%. Don't care what you think, it is. The thing that they don't want us to know is that we as a collective can cancel all of this shit out. We can abolish the parasites that are doing these things. They fear the day that we come together and we start working in unity. We start manifesting as a collective. If everyone in the world would sit together right now in silence and start putting our good thoughts into creating a new world for ourselves, then it would absolutely happen. The parasites cannot manifest. That's why they put all these ideas into the collective consciousness, because we hold the matrix up like glue. Now I'm praying for Jamaica. I'm sending my good energy and all of my beautiful thoughts that way. And everyone watching this should too. If you don't know what HARP is, look up HARP. If you don't know what geoengineering is, look up geoengineering. These are man-made events, all with a plan to further their agenda. Now let's keep our thoughts and prayers with Jamaica, and let's manifest a better future. Peace and love.
See, and the sad part is he's absolutely right. They keep us divided so we won't all stand together. Hence the phrase, united we stand, divided we fall. There's a reason for those two phrases, because it's true. And that's how they know. Keep everybody arguing. I hate you, you're right, you're left, you're this, you're that. And that way, there's no strength. Because not counting all the people who are just oblivious, what's it going to take? And then he's telling you, if you don't believe this, go look up HARP, go look up this. I promise you, 98% of you won't. You're hearing it, go, oh, wow. Yeah, I will. And you won't. You're just going to move on until another thing happens and another thing happens. And even then, unless it happens to you, God forbid, you have to. I'm just at a point in my life to where to me, it's worth being a little bit ahead of the game, not even ahead of the game or on top of things, because life has gotten that serious. I missed the days when I was carefree and fun, didn't give a shit about nothing except for the moment that we were in, which is a great philosophy. Live your fullest in the moment that you're in. I get that. But at the same time, I want to have a lot more moments to live in the future. And for my child, and for your children, and for their children's children. Not this utopian state that they want to, force everybody into with, constant surveillance and, a social credit score. Whether you get to have this or you get to have that, it depends on if you're behaving. That's why. Here's another thing on Jamaica. Again, I'm going to talk about this because I'm more concerned of you guys understanding that the weather, they are screwing with the weather big time. And they could turn it against us. And it's not just for making it rain or all this climate change bullshit. Because they are now admitting, well, it's a whole nother thing. Friggin' Bill Gates is changing his tune now. Saying, well, climate change isn't as bad as we thought it was because he wants more power grids built because they're going to need more power to run all those data centers that they're going to be building so they can surveil everything. It's going to be a data center in every town, eating up electricity and water that we're going to end up paying for. So now Mr. Climate Change and methane cows and this and that is saying, well, it's not as bad. He's changing his tune because he needs to direct it to where, like, to convince you that we need these data centers. He's such a piece of shit. He's such a piece of shit. I was on the phone yesterday with a guy who we were friends since we were 4 years old. We grew up houses from each other. We got pictures of us as 4-year-olds. And I've recently reconnected with him, and he catches the show a little bit, not too often. He says, Pete, why are you talking about Bill Gates and this and that? He says, why don't you go back to talking about, like, helping people with divorce and single parenting and all that? I'm going, Frank, I do. I talk about that stuff, but I talk about this and I talk about that. I got a different show every week, but there's a lot of news in the news. There's a lot of life going on right now. And it's a mind screw what they're doing to people. And he doesn't pay attention. So therefore, he doesn't get it. But I do pay attention. This show has brought me closer to paying attention, that's for sure. But I told him, I said, I think I am doing some good by bringing awareness to people about what evil is lurking around the corner. And it's going to affect, if it hasn't already affected, you and the people around you. I don't see any bad in that. It's like, yeah, but, you're kind of kicking the hornet's nest or whatever. It's like, so be it. Somebody's got to, because it's not good. I don't want to get stung, but I don't want to live in fear of hornets either. Here's another thing on that hurricane. And again, the reason I'm talking to you about this, number one, how did it happen? Just happen to be on the smart city list, huh? And this hurricane just demolishes it, pinpoints it. Perfect. Coincidence? You decide.
Breaking news out of Jamaica. Here is the aftermath from this Category 5 hurricane with 200 plus mile an hour winds and absolute devastation. It's estimated 95% of the roads in this area are impassable. Over, or almost rather, 3,000 people are unaccounted for. We got to pray for Jamaica here. And I cannot help but think, and someone's going to say this is too far out, man, this is a stretch. They want to build a smart city in Jamaica. They wanted to build a smart city in Maui. They want to build a giant lithium mine in North Carolina where that hurricane blew through. They have the technology. We've seen the patents. There are many of them. Steering a hurricane, amplifying a hurricane, stopping a hurricane. They can make it rain. They can make it snow. They can make it drought. People say, the first thing people say is, well, hold on a second. If they could make it rain, then why was it a drought in California for 10 years? Well, you're naively thinking that they would use this technology for the betterment of humanity, when clearly one may not be fully aware of how far this goes and what the true plan is. Their plan isn't to make technology to alter the weather, to help us. We are seen as useless eaters to them. Sorry to show you. Look, all I'm going to say is this. The more people that talk about this, the more people that inquire and demand an inquiry into weather modification technologies and whatnot, the better. And if this happened to be an organic storm, no harm, no foul, man. We're just shooting ideas out here. But I can't help but see a connection between areas that they have something planned for and then complete devastation through a natural disaster, which of course is blamed on climate change. And then they say, we're spraying these trails in the sky to fight climate change. Or are they causing the climate to change because they're modifying the weather all the time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Again, prayers for Jamaica. I had a couple people say thanks for posting about it, and I had a couple people saying stop conspiring about it. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
They can. They can make it rain. They can make it snow. Don't forget earthquakes, tsunamis. There's things my father told me 20 years ago when that tsunami hit Indonesia. And I've mentioned this probably 2 or 3 times over the past few years on this show. When that tsunami wiped out like 100,000 people, I mean, it was horrible. My father looked at me and I was, looking at him like he was nuts. He says, the governments have ways to make that happen. And I just said, come on, Dad, come on. That thing just made an earthquake, which made tidal waves, which wiped out, an island. And he just looked at me and says, they do. And now I believe them, or I believe him. At the time, I was younger. I thought, you grow. You grow. Earthquakes, things like that. There's all kinds of technology that we don't know about. They don't use it every day. And it's a secret because we're not supposed to know. It's someday we'll know if we're still on this earth by that time comes. But things are happening more and more now because you can't hide things. I'm going to get into that, the Charlie Kirk's assassination, because the video breakdowns now from all the different videos, you're not going to tell me that he got shot by that guy on the roof with that damn rifle. You're just not. But I have a close friend that I was talking to a couple of weeks ago, and he looked at me and goes, you don't think that kid shot him? And this is a friend of mine who's once in the Marines. He's an adult. And he took what they said and said, well, yeah, he shot him. They said he shot him. Kind of makes sense. The story kind of does. But yeah, the story makes sense if that's the only story kind of that you know. But when you start seeing all these videos, that's like, well, look at that. That's strange. What the hell is... There's so many things going on that don't make sense to the story they're feeding us. So we'll talk about that down the road. I've been waiting. I'm letting more things come up and come up. Candace Owens, man, she's all over that shit. They're making fun of her and this and that, but I think she's on to something and she doesn't care and she's talking about it. It's way, way deep. Way deep. I mean, to where it's like, I don't even want to get into it now, but it's beyond belief deep. We'll talk about it down the road. All I'm saying is the manipulation is immense. immense. Here's another one, Jamaica. The reason I want you to understand with Jamaica is because, again, I'm trying to give you all the variables about, just happens to be on the smart city list, and yeah, weather manipulation to do things that affect other things, that enhance other people, people's lives, or give them a reason to be able to change the course of nature in certain places. Yeah, it's real. Did I just do that one? If I did this one, I'll stop it again. No, I think this is the one. Here you go.
Okay, we need to talk about what's happening in Jamaica right now, because nobody is talking about the coincidence, the shocking coincidence, that Jamaica signed on to do and now is experiencing this Category 5 hurricane that's wiped out the frickin' island. My thoughts and prayers go out to all those affected, and now let's get into it. So did you know that Jamaica signed on to something called Vision 2030, where they want to change a lot of how Jamaica was, and they have all these fancy buzzwords, but what it really is surveillance, smart grid, smart technology, smart city. Kind of like what happened in Hawaii. As you can see on the website, you see the Sustainable Development Goals. That's Agenda 21. Now, Agenda 21, as we know, is the shocking agenda to do a lot of things to all the countries in the world, which seem good on the surface: equality, diversity, inclusion, when it really comes down to surveillance, control, and basically a prison without bars, controlled by AI. Jamaica has a comprehensive plan for smart city development, including a new city project. Well, how are you going to build a new city where there already is one? Oh, what happened to Maui? What happened to other places that had a smart city plan? What happened, the other thing I was thinking too is, what happened to the hurricane that blew into South Carolina, where they found a massive lithium deposit and then a hurricane wiped out the whole area and they're telling people they can't build there anymore? Vision 2030 Jamaica, absolutely shocking. The plan to test and implement smart technologies. Improve your quality of life. Yeah, talk to a robot every frickin' day. Real lifestyle quality there, dude. And then also, drive economic growth. Do you mean economic units, where they judge you based on carbon credits and there's no longer currency? Is this the whole plan? Let me know if you think this is just a shocking coincidence. But actually, I guess I didn't really say, how would a hurricane have anything to do with this plan? Unless, of course, you could do anything to modify the weather. But surely weather modification is totally fake and impossible, right? And it would never be used nefariously against innocent people. We'll talk more about that in the next one. Comment your thoughts below and follow for more.
If they had to, let's say they got the green light that we want to redo Jamaica. I'm just going to use Jamaica because we're talking about it. Any place, Maui, the portion of Maui, Lahaina and all that. If they had the green light, they say, okay, we're going to start rebuilding that area. It's got old houses and people that have been there for, hundreds of families for decades and hundreds of years. And, but we want to modernize everything. Do you realize how long it would take to tear down Jamaica as a whole? Plus having to fight the people who don't want to leave, don't want to move, even if they got, offered to buy out. They're going, no, this is our home. So Lahaina was the islanders. I mean, that was their home. Their parents grew there and their grandparents were there and all that stuff. But if a natural catastrophe happens, it's all gone in a week. Something that would take years to fight their way through, to wipe out, with construction and demolition. They wiped it out in fires. They wiped it out with a hurricane and floods. Boom. Well, it's a catastrophe. Gee, that's too bad. Now let's rebuild it. Smart city. That's my point. They'll go, it doesn't matter to them. A few lives, it's collateral damage in the name of progress, secretively. One more for Jamaica and before I change the subject again. Here you go.
Before we conclude that Hurricane Melissa is just another man-made disaster for a land grab, let's just look at history and see who benefits. First, the Maui fires. Yes, asset management firms bought up a large part of what was destroyed. Oprah also got a big chunk of land. Second, Malibu. With the new permit regulations, it's practically impossible to rebuild. Now guess what comes in? Third, Hurricane Helene in North Carolina. Yes, BlackRock increased its position in Albemarle a few days before they received $250 million from the government to boost lithium production. Residents were protesting, hurricane hits, agenda moves along. You can also find them buying land in Ukraine and Gaza and anything that looks like a disaster. Now this takes us to Jamaica. There is indeed a UN-backed smart city plan called Vision 2030 to connect Jamaica to the grid for digital IDs, surveillance, compliance, etc. Okay, but is it possible? Can they really manipulate the weather? The short answer is yes. You can find weather manipulation patents, there's Project HARP, there is cloud seeding technology. You can listen to a speech by ex-CIA Director John Brennan telling you all about it. So are these disasters just coincidences? Probably not, because like Lyndon B. Johnson said, he who controls the weather controls the world.
Land grab, weather manipulation. These are facts. Just food for thought, people. I'm always bringing this stuff to you to hopefully open your mind and or make you think. Again, what you choose to do with it's up to you, but just keep it in there to you can, possibly refer to it later on down the road if necessary. Speaking of digital ID, I do want to touch on that, as I will continually, because we haven't even got a taste of it yet, but other countries are starting to get screwed, and eventually it'll make its way towards us. Subtly, they'll make it sound like it's no big deal. And please don't confuse real ID from digital ID, folks. It's a completely different thing. But I just found it. It's a movie trailer, and I think the movie's either coming out or it's just come out. But it's a good trailer about digital ID. It's a documentary, obviously, I guess. And I just felt that I should show it to you. If you want to go see the movie, that'd be great too. But I just thought it's kind of informative. And you need to be aware of this because, again, it's not a matter of if, it's when this crap tries to get shoved down our throats. Check it out.
The lust to control other human beings is a story as old as time. There's a very strong drift in the direction of globalization, of the ultimate centralization of control in the hands of unelected officials at supranational organizations.
They want all of the resources of the world in their pocket.
The bigger picture is that an attempt is underway now to collapse liberal democracy and replace it with global technocracy.
This is a coup. They're saying we can control with rules. We don't need currency anymore.
It's like an inverted prison. You are supposedly free to roam about, but everything you want to access is behind lock and key.
The potential for social control is gigantic and potentially irreversible.
They plan to commandeer land, reduce farming, and radically change the food we eat, transform the supply of electricity, and then dictate how we use it, and replace currency with a system of credits. All three strategies are built on the premise of a climate crisis caused by carbon dioxide.
I do not think there's a climate crisis, and I base that on all the evidence and the climate data sets that we build to answer questions just like that. The government is very clear that they want a catastrophic story.
There is no single science paper that proves conclusively that humans control all or most of the global climate.
Europe's mad dash towards net zero is effectively economic suicide. Politicians are purposely impoverishing ordinary people, purposely deindustrializing Europe.
It's just tremendous amounts of damage in the name of saving the planet. It does make you ask, what is it we're actually saving if we're paving it over?
I think what we're dealing with here is actually a global war on agriculture.
When you look at how many farms are selling out, we're walking into food shortages.
If I can switch everybody from real food to pharma food, then 100% of the agriculture industry can go through my publicly traded stocks, and I have complete control.
This is the biggest public relations scam in the history of the world.
But it's far more than that. It's a blueprint. It is the action plan.
All life on Earth is going to be radically changed.
Everything will be monitored. The environmental consequences of every human action.
The general population cannot fathom the psychopathy of the vision that they're facing.
Once the digital ID is in place, it's game over for humanity.
The Agenda, the movie. Find it. Might be on a streaming network by now, I'm sure. But sounds pretty informative, and it's pretty damn real what's going on. Can you imagine eating pharma food? They want to create all the food, no more farmers, so they can just control everything. You think that's, Gates is trying to do it. Butter, fake meat. Fake meat is failing miserably. Rightfully so. But still, you think he's going to stop? These friggin' greedy ass people, that's all they care. Speaking of Bill Gates, I'm going to play a little bit of something where she's involved in. I'm fascinated by the comments that come to some of these clips from the show from 3 months ago, from the Bill Gates stuff, still coming in daily, hundreds a day, on how much he sucks. So I'm so proud of you guys for at least understanding how horrible that human being is. I wish we could all band together in some other ways, certainly as well, to keep this country safe and solid. But the biggest thing is, it's like, why hasn't anybody done something about just one guy? And that's a damn good question. Damn good question. I don't know. It sucks. Here, check this one out, and then we're going to get to one last topic, which I think is... one, my bad. Sorry, Butterfingers. Whoopsie. Here you go. This is Mr. Gates and his population reduction, scheme. That's what he's all about. He sucks. Here you go.
Bill Gates just launched a contraceptive that lasts 8 years in Kenya, one of his favorite testing grounds. This guy's just obsessed with reducing the global population.
Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
His foundation just committed $2.5 billion in what they like to call women's health. Who the are you kidding? His investments in vaccines and pharmaceuticals did nothing but hurt women and children. Look at the birth rates and how much harder it got for women to get pregnant. In what world will anyone believe that he's doing these projects from the kindness of his heart, from his foundation? The agenda is to make us weak and sick and infertile as part of a long-term plan for population control. The cat's out of the bag. Don't get fooled by the pink sweater and the glasses. He's a little demon rat.
That is correct. He is. It's funny, as I was telling you, I was talking to this old friend of mine since we were children, and I don't talk to him very much. I mean, I haven't really spoken to him in over 30 years, and because he's not on social media. He's like, I keep up with a lot of people. From back in the day. I go out of my way to at least, touch base with people once a year, whatever. But if you're not on social media and you just disappear, it's like, how am I supposed to find you? And he found me again, and we were talking. And when he was on my ass about like this Bill Gates stuff, he goes, but Bill Gates does a lot of good stuff too, doesn't he? And, because they lead you to believe with the Bill Gates Foundation and the philanthropy and all that. I go, Bill Gates doesn't do anything that doesn't make him more money. It just sounds like he's doing a bunch of good. He says he's giving away all his money. He's giving it all away to his foundations, which is still his money, and he can touch it anytime he wants. It just doesn't go directly to him before he spends it. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's just crap. All right, before we get on to our last topic here of the government shutdown, let me just take a sip here. This shit just makes me crazy. I love you guys, though. Thanks for sticking on and hanging around. Share, share, share. And don't forget, again, keep following and subscribing. I can't say it enough. The Facebook stuff is great. Keep hitting the follow button, like, YouTube, subscribe. That's all you got to do is hit the buttons. That's simple. Helps. It does. Oh, we should do this again sometime. Smooth. Maybe next week. The government shutdown is
And if you voted for Trump and you're on EBT, you're on SNAP, Medicaid, Medicare, or anything that's about to get shut down, remember, this is what you wanted and this is what you voted for.
Democrats would make you believe it's Trump, right?
Heartless president is cutting off food stamps to hungry children, elderly who can't afford enough food to feed themselves, veterans who are down on their luck, all because he wants to use them as hostages.
Who's using who as a hostage? What's with this list of demands you had?
Republicans are not demanding anything, literally nothing. All we want is to reopen the government. The Democrats are demanding all those things I just showed you on the chart, plus a lot more. When I say they want to send money to foreign countries, this is some of the things that they would propose that we spend money on again. They're demanding, this is a ransom to reopen the government. Things like $4 million for global LGBTQI plus awareness campaigns around the world. $4 million for the LGBTQI plus democracy grants in the Balkans. They want $2 million for feminist democratic principles projects in Africa.
The Democrats just aren't telling you the truth. They are holding the Republicans hostage. The budget bill needs 60 votes. There's 53 Republicans in the Senate. You need 7 Democrats. Only like 3 Democrats voted yes. Democrats are causing the shutdown and withholding the SNAP. Just spitting facts at you, okay? Bye-bye.
I didn't mean to play that so fast, but I think my touchpad is getting... I upgraded, and I think it adjusted a bunch of stuff, and it's too light to the touch. And I just made a note to myself, check the touchpad, because I didn't mean to play that clip just yet. I wanted to tell you about the he said, she said. This is what we got. We got the Democrats blaming Republicans, the Republicans blaming the Democrats. But the fun facts are just what this man said. The Republicans keep voting to open the government and then discuss the problems as we go along so people can get paid. The Democrats are saying, no, hell no. We want trillions of dollars before we open up the government. And screw the people who need the SNAP money, although we're going to blame you guys and say that, battle Republicans for not opening up the government because they're not giving us trillions of dollars. So who really cares about who? They can open up the government and then discuss that money that they're having a battle over, but they won't do that. So who's the real villain here? Here's another fun fact opportunity with the shutdown, because it's going to get worse before it gets better, but it will eventually come to an end. It happened during Obama. I remember that because I'm a Blue Angels fan, the Navy Blue Angels, and I remember when the Blue Angels shows got canceled because I was going to go to a show. I think it was in California, and the show got canceled because of a shutdown. And it's happened again now, too. Their last show is usually in November, this month. I think next week. It's supposed to be next weekend. It's the final show of the year before they call it quits for the summer. And that show got canceled. And that's at their home base in Pensacola, NAS. And that's a big show. It's like a homecoming show. A lot of people go to that. They love them. I do. Been to that show many times. But it happens. But they're going to be pricks about this whole thing. And I just want people to understand that there's some reasoning behind it. And here's the reasons. But here's a fun fact number 2.
Here's all you have to ask somebody who argues with you about who shut the government down and who's at fault. Ask somebody this. If they say the Republicans are at fault and not the Democrats, say, give me a simple answer. Who voted yes for the last 13 times to keep the government, to open up the government, and who voted no? That's it. Nothing else. Now, if you want to go further and you want to say President Trump is using $300 million of tariff money that you also don't like to fund the WIC program. The Pentagon has found research and development money that they're using along with donations from billionaires who said that they will fund the military. We've also had a clean, open bill, a standalone bill to fund air traffic controllers, the TSA, and the military. Democrats said no. Then there was another standalone vote to fund SNAP and EBT. Democrats said no. Those are the facts. I don't know how anybody can argue that. Which side has voted 13 times to open up the government and in that 13 times been given different options for single standalone pay for people that are suffering? The Republicans. Which parties voted no on all of that? The Democrats. Why? Because they don't want these people to give Trump the win. They would rather have them suffer so they can spin and gaslight and say, look what these Republicans did. They're in charge of the government. It's such an easy argument. Which party has voted to open it up? Which party has voted to close it? Eli, you got something there? Would you like to read?
Oh, I do. I do. Family page, but as you can see here, in their own words, Martin Heinrich, paying our troops gives the president more leverage. Bernie Sanders, you reopen the government and we lose our leverage. Chuck Schumer, every day gets better for us. Ruben Gallego, then I just go back and shut it down again. We all know the infamous Congresswoman Catherine Clark. There will be families that are going to suffer, but it's one of the few leverage times that we have. And don't forget Chris Coons. Frankly, this is our only moment of, what's that word again? Leverage, and although a very unpleasant tool to use, in their own words.
Look at that. The segments here on LFA TV where we bring receipts. The internet never forgets, and in their own words. That's what they're saying, not our side. Our side is going, okay, let's figure out how we can pay these people while the government's shut down while you guys are acting like babies. Nope, says the Democrats. Okay, let's see. Let's fund these people that you say are suffering. Nope, we're not doing that either. They want all or nothing, and they're not getting anything. So go ahead, keep it shut down. But sooner or later, like I said this morning, sooner or later, John Thune is going to have to get involved, and he's going to have to nuke that 60-vote threshold as it pertains to just keeping the government funded and nothing else. He's got the power to do it. He does. But in this suffering, you know what you're going to see? You're going to see people continuing to get exposed. Like when we found out that there's 42 million Americans on SNAP or EBT.
Thanks, Live from America TV. He made a good point. So I said, yeah, I'll show it. It's truth. It's the truth. Practical, common sense questions. Pretty easy answers, unless you ask them. This stuff could have been, this didn't have to happen. This didn't have to happen. But they're making it happen. And who suffers? The people. They're not. In fact, I just saw John Kennedy, Senator John Kennedy. I love that guy. I've played clips with him. He's so witty. He's just trying to pass a bill now that anytime the government decides to shut down, that the senators and Congress people don't get paid either. Because, they're all getting paid. And that's the thing. They're getting paid. And the normal people who really need it are suffering. And he's proposing a bill for them not to get paid and not to get reimbursed either after the shutdown ends. In other words, you guys are causing this shit. It's on you. You ain't getting paid if it's that important for you to do it. And he's a senator. He's saying, hey, we won't get paid if we cause this problem. Because it's a problem. This is all political crap. I hate politics. I hate politicians. I wish they could do away with them. Just do it like business. I don't understand what politicians do anyway. They don't do anything besides cause trouble and lie. I don't see the need for causing trouble and lying to try to keep things running smooth. I don't get it. I don't get the need for politicians. Last one. Hakeem Jeffries.
me ask you, because you say this is a Republican shutdown, but it's Democratic senators who are withholding their votes on what is called a clean resolution. That means no strings attached, which is something, quite frankly, Leader, that you and other Democrats have advocated for in the past. Take a look.
You do not use the threat of shutting down government to try to advance your policy agenda.
First thing that the House has to do is pass a clean 6-week CR.
A continuing resolution that is at the fiscal year 2023 levels is the only way forward.
Why not fund the government and debate extending Obamacare tax credits after the fact? They don't expire till the end of the year.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah. He's a wuss. He's such a wuss. I don't know. I just don't see leadership in him. I don't care, again, left, right, or whatever. It's just nothing but lies. Him and Corey, what's his name? They're all just like band of pussies. I don't get it. Let's sing Kumbaya. Anyway, I want to remind everybody for next Wednesday, November 12th, right here, Pastor Ray Pullett from Baltimore, Maryland. Pastor Ray's been on my show several times around this time of year as the weather gets cold. He is like the overseer of the homeless in the Baltimore area, in his area. And he really is a selfless person who gives and tries to keep a lot of these people from ODing. And I mean, the drug problem is every year I ask him how many people since, that have come around. He tries to bring them closer to God. He has his, it's called the Church Without Walls. He tries to bring them to come in and worship with him on Sundays and things like that. And just try to keep them give them a purpose instead of just being homeless and doing drugs. You win some, you lose some. But we're going to talk to him Wednesday, November 12th, right here. Pastor Ray Pullett from Baltimore, Maryland, on his efforts this year of taking care of the homeless and how it's going. And again, you never hear the man complain about anything. It's incredible. I mean, it's just something to take with you and to learn from, because he's a very selfless, giving person, and I love him to death. So he's going to be here next Wednesday, November 12th, right here on Life of Peter G, The Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. I want to thank everybody for paying attention and those who hung in there and tuned in and stuck with us. And hopefully you get something out of all this. I want to know and hear your comments. You can always comment after the fact. Hey, Peter, I loved it. Thank you. I learned things I didn't know. Hey, Peter, I don't agree with you. You suck, whatever. I've heard it all. But I still love you. I'm not going to, everybody's entitled to an opinion. You know what I mean? And some come around, and I'm not saying what I'm bringing to you is for you to take to heart, but I'm saying just take it in and keep it in the back of your head. I'm not saying you have to believe it. Just offering up some information that you may not know about, because it's there. It's there. And just because you don't think, we don't all think the same way on this certain topic. I never used to have these issues with people that were close to me, because we never used to have to talk about this stuff. It was never this bad. The division is remarkably uncanny on how bad they are trying to make sure we all hate each other. And I'm not going to let that happen. I mean, if you want to dislike me, that's on you. It's not on me. Unless you do something really wrong with me, we're just having a disagreement on this topic. So what? Join me each and every week. I love you guys. I do. We're going to be talking about things. We're going to be getting into the holidays here soon. And I want to make sure that everybody, I don't know, family, we're going to be talking about people dealing with, being lonely during the holidays, missing people during the holidays. I mean, all that stuff, it's all there. And I talk about it every year because it's important. We all love and miss people. And some people, just have a hard time with that, as well as what's going on every day. And that's important too. But for some reason, to me, everything gets amplified during the holidays, because it's the time when it's supposed to be wholesome and family. And, God knows I've sat home on Christmases by myself going through divorce and things like that. And I mean, it sucks, but you learn to live with it. It's only a moment. It's a small moment in time. we'll talk about all those things coming up. But next week, Pastor Ray Pollitt, and then who knows from there? Well, I do know. I just can't remember right now. So that's it. Thank you. I love you. Please follow, subscribe, share. I really would appreciate that. I would. All right? Stay cool. Stay warm. Think before you speak. Be kind. You don't know what the person next to you is going through when they lash out. Just take a breath before you speak. Life's a bitch. You don't have to take a bunch of shit from people, but you don't have to be an ass either. I know it's easier said than done. Just be patient, all right? Life is short. Enjoy. Let's all enjoy. And thank you for taking time out of your life to spend it with me. I don't take that for granted. I don't. All right? My name is Peter G. Thanks for watching Life with Peter G, The Peter G Show. I do. I love you guys. And as always, peace out.
Let us help you with the high price of fuel. Hello, I'm Ty Thompson at CleanStarProducts.com. We can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Here's how. Our program works the same with gasoline and diesel engines. Whether you're using a car pack or SUV pack, the instructions are the same. Add 1 bottle to your engine oil, and each time you change your oil, add 1 bottle to the fuel tank each and every fuel fill-up. It's that easy. You get 10% fuel economy on average, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. DX1 sells for $2 an ounce, so for just a few dollars a fuel tank, you can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Come on, give it a try. It's the finest green-grade oil in the world from a California environmental company. You're going to feel it when you drive. Order online today. We'll get it out right away. CleanStarProducts.com/shop.